Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be continuing the Chain of Gold book review and welcome to part 2. And before any more further delay, I shall begin. Okay, so for those of you who have read this book and have stuck around with me this far, I have so much confusion as to how relevant this Alexander Lightwood is and how young is he, and is his name going to be really useful? Is he going to die a tragic death in this series later on? I have no clue, because clearly this name in the same family carries on to the mortal instruments. So I am really hyped to see where the character of this Alexander Lightwood goes. So, about James. As soon as he found out that James can go into the shadow world, and he keeps being told by these other ghosts or demons who talk to him, telling him that he is of demon blood, I knew exactly where this was going, and I'm sure I'm not the only smart person here, or even averagely smart, who figured out that this would be a family drama. Like his grandfather Belial is going to be part of this, and I was so pumped for it. I predicted it, but I was also really happy. But what I was really sad about the whole thing was that I wish we got to see Tessa having a conversation or a confrontation with her father in along with James. I think that would have been a really great scene to have played out. And so far it hasn't come, but I have faith that it might come later in her next books, and I am looking forward to that. But I just like that he was part of it and he is still not gone, guys. We know that a main villain like that will not get killed. And adding to that note, I would have also appreciated if there were a few flashback scenes in the story where we would have gotten to know why Belial chose to mix his blood with the Shadow Hunters, with Tessa's mother, and what happened to Tessa's mother after that. Does Tessa have any memories of her mother? And it would have also been great if we got a little bit of a conversation between Tessa and James. It could have been from either perspective. I would have been fine even if it was with James' perspective, but I think we could have gotten to know our characters a little more, and that would have been fab. The Herendales have this Herendales only love one uh, curse that's kind of just goes on from the very beginning of the infernal devices that carries on into James' life. And I just found this utterly rubbish, to be honest, because the first time when you fall in love with someone and they turn out to be a bad person, you cannot say that love was wasted and can only be done once. And we know how will functions, and the same kind of habits and behaviors have gone down to James, and James is thinks that he is deeply in love with Grace, but that's not quite true. And I just did not like that this whole time he just thinks that Herondales love only once, and it kind of puts other people who are his object of affection into a very burdening, into a very responsible position, which I personally find sort of toxic. So that was one element in the story that I quite did not like or even agree with. I am being so hard on James, but I can't help it. I was most of the time really annoyed with him as a character because he was being quite dumb. A lot of times he couldn't figure out how he feels with Grace compared to how he feels with Cordelia, and because we all just praise him so much for being the wise, the kind, he was pretty dumb, guys. I do love him, but I was also annoyed with him at the same time because he did not just break his own heart, he also broke Cordelia's heart, especially when he asked for her hand in marriage. I was so heartbroken because he had no idea what he was doing in that state of thinking that he was in love with Grace because of the bracelet, and especially because I really, really appreciate Cordelia as a mature, kind character, and she did not deserve this. None of them deserve this heartbreak for each other, but she especially did not deserve this. The lengths that she went to protect him were just out of bounds, out of my imagination. I just did not expect that scene, and I actually kept my book down for a while because I just couldn't register it for quite a while. Also, Cordelia's mom is pregnant with who? She is quite old, and honestly, Cordelia is quite well worried about her mother, and there are a lot of secrets being kept away from Cordelia by her mother, by her brother, and when she found out what the truth about her father being drunk and not remembering what he had done during the expedition, whoa, that was a lot to take in, and Cordelia was still trying to fix and get her family back together as they were, and that was so utterly heartbreaking and understanding at the same time. It just broke me. So I gave this book 3 stars because the three are no, two of them are for the big cast of characters, and one is for the plot because, as usual, the plots are just about average. So I like the book for the conflict of the characters' feelings and their own personal secrets and battles that they're fighting. But that's about it. I really think that the plots can improve, and if they do not, I might start losing interest, and I really don't want to do that because it took a lot of time for me to start loving her books, and I do not want to go off track again. So, thank you. I will end this book review right here, and I will come up with more book reviews next week. Please do also follow me on Instagram. I am a little more active there than I am here, and do follow me, and I shall also interact with you and follow you back. But until then, thank you very much. Bye bye.